The truth. The truth is, there is no truth. There is hardly ever right or wrong. The truth that I have been peeling, unraveling, unbecoming is that there is nothing in this world that is not tainted by the personal and acute emotional feelings of the individual. Excuse me. Facts only exist in accordance with our proximity to it. So there is no right, wrong, up, down, left, or right. I know it may sound ramble ish, but this is truly some rambling ish. The further down the rabbit hole of my mind I go, the more mad I get. It makes me finally understand the Mad Hatter, his poetic rambles, his truth hidden beneath riddles, the comedic painscape he painted. Finally, I understand why I am akin to Atlas, for I understand him too well. Since birthing this new perspective, I have realized two very important things. Nothing is real, and nothing is proven. The world we have built is based on conformity, the forced assimilation of people, places, and things in accordance with another man's narrow vision. Yes, God truly made you in his image. He made you in his perspective, and we have made the truths of others our God. We are ruled by the beliefs of others, who project all that they are onto us, telling us who we should be and why, dictating our beliefs because it is what they believe. So then, do these leaders think themselves to be God? Exacting your worldview onto the rest of us like justice. Propaganda is in everything we digest, from movies to social media, even in books and classrooms. The rat race never stops because the programming is soaked into all that we do, meaning we are bound to be indoctrinated. The control is sickening, though not shocking. The next cast over us since the world order toppled over in some grand catastrophe I can't realize. These nets have taken a millennia to break. This mentality of controllers, of rulers. The age of gods and men has ended. The idea that there must be a shepherd leading the flock. Humanity, as noted by all things greater than us, is ambitionless and led. We are ignorant, and willfully so, not caring to connect things as they obviously are. We are too taken with the false world we have created, the false sense of safety through laws, facts, science. Not to say those things are inherently negative, but they all come from a place of insecurity. It comes from a place of not knowing and seeking something outside of yourself to know. Then that becomes compromised in the face of others knowing. The interest of others' opinions and perspectives causes friction, and from the friction, a flame shall be birthed. Instead, the irrationality of competition makes you believe you must be more than the other person. Their truth may be different than your own, but at the foundation of everything is something we all share. Everyone should have ambition. Everyone should have a vision for the world that is all their own without taint. There can be additions, there can be changes. It can evolve and become complicated, complex. It can be without reason, large and far reaching. Most of our dreams don't expand past this realm we have created. Nothing is outside of this society. That is why you denote Earth to a prison, because to you it is. The prison is not so much the planet physically, but your mindscape, the things you believe to be true. We are caged by our own self righteousness and fear. We place ourselves so above others, so above animals, worms, birds, so high and mighty we are, because we have built a society off the backs of the innocent, because we think we know something. We know nothing, because there is nothing that is truly known. Humanity has no perspective because there is a lack of accountability in many forms. The idea of a shepherd leads us to having victim complexes locked in our heads and unable to tap into real and raw forms of internal power. Constantly, we scavenge for explanation, closure, love, acceptance. We dig in places furthest from our home, convinced they can give us something we cannot. We have these helplessly thugs on a rock mentality about our existence, but we are not helpless or on a floating rock. The Mayans had it right when they said we live on the back of a turtle. The earth is but a shell hosting a much more sentient being. The earth is a being we inhabit, not merely a floating rock, but a never ending source of light, prosperity, and love. We call her mother for a reason, because we nestle in her bosom. She feeds us, clothes us, gives us everlasting life upon us. In return, we stifle her, mock her with this false sense of importance. The ignorance we carry as we assume we are alone in the universe, Lord surveying over all, conquers. Beings made for peace and frolicking in fields, going to war. And you wonder why the mind breaks. Trauma is a poison we shouldn't have to know. Like stars, there is a light that exudes from us when we are healed in our natural state. We are to be as untouched as babies all our lives, to sprout and grow unfiltered through capitalism's door. Why only extend that purity to a year? Why taint the spirit and call it the real world? Why not live in the dreams we create forever? Why not frolic in fields? Why not be vulnerable and loving? Why not be free of all rulers and gods? Why not truly be? We work and work and work and work and work. We work until we have filled the void inside with death. We work until realizing that we cannot work anymore. We work to no avail because there is no satisfaction in working, in only doing and never being. Work hard, play hard. Take the phrase seriously. You must do as much as you don't. There are many ways to work, to strive, and many things to strive for. So why must we limit ourselves so much? We rob ourselves of the opportunity to be so much bigger than we are. Our lives, our jobs, our dreams. God, how boring is it all? I mean, your dream in life is to go to school for 25 years, get a job that pays you $144,000 a year for 80 hours a week. I'm convinced you're lying. These aren't dreams or even aspirations. They are prisons to your potential. If you could be anything in the world, you probably wouldn't know what to be because you're waiting on someone to tell you. Most people die before ever leaving their hometown, never seeing another city's limits, never experiencing the earth. 1,000 years ago, people were isolated, ignorant to the other's existence. But we have had 1,000 years together, and what have we done? We are more ignorant, only building towers among fears that came from foreign discomfort 1,000 years ago. We have come together, yet we couldn't be farther apart. With all the resources, inventions, ideas, and knowledge we have as a people, there should be so much more. The hoarding and competitive destruction kills us all. Why choose to live your life confined by the choices of others? Why accept this as the only reality you have to choose from? Why do you allow them to invade your justice? The only thing we can all agree on is that we want to be free, seen, and heard. The only truth in the whole universe is that inherently people want sovereignty even more than they want safety. So, the question being posed by this essay is, what is really the truth? You know what I'm saying? What is the truth of humanity? What is the truth of the world? What is the truth of our nature? This is a topic I am quite fascinated about. Um, if there's any special interest in the world to have, this is mine. And I think that the truth of humanity is that we are nothing as much as we are everything, because everything is nothing and everything, right? It's more than an interconnectedness. It's literally just again a being. Like humanity is supposed to be. You know, I look at humans and a lot of y'all don't look like y'all supposed to be doing the shit that you do. I can't lie. Like life is meant to be a lot more simpler than we make it out to be. And in our grandiose societies, we have created all of these jobs and all of this capital, not all this money, all this meaning, all these systems. But for what though? If things are not for your satisfaction, if they're not for your sovereignty, if they're not for your freedom, if they're not for your highest good at the end of the day, then why do they exist? And at the end of the day, if a system exists and it is literally like in direct contradiction with where you're going, what you do, what your peace is, what your happiness is, that system is a prison. That is jail. Like we live in a prison, but not at all in the ways that people would like to think of it. Y'all are able to think so big and so imaginative instead of just being grounded in the reality that this is the prison. Me and you are existing in a prison, and the prison exists online, and outside of that it exists in the institutions that we are in and the institutions that we don't even participate in. Everything is built to keep you down and keep you from ascending to the highest point of who you could be, which is literally just being a regular ass human. That's why people are always talking about their inner child and shit, because when you're talking about a human, we're supposed to be like that all of our lives. We're not supposed to have no worries. People, things aren't supposed to have worries. It's like you see animals play. Animals are playful. They're not all serious and have jobs and fucking briefcases.